I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. A federal judge in Washington, D.C., Judge Colleen Cottley, just issued a scathing order after a 3-day bench trial against an insurrectionist. But not only was this scathing order directed at the insurrectionist, it was also directed at Donald Trump, because in this order, the federal judge stated that Donald Trump was the one who gave these orders, that this insurrectionist was heeding the orders of Donald Trump, unlawful orders. She shouldn't have been doing it, but connecting Donald Trump in ways that we really haven't seen other federal judge go this far. We'll break it down, but this also shows you the influence that the January 6th committee's report is having on federal judges, because we have talked a little bit about more federal judges starting to really tie Donald Trump to the insurrection in terms of Trump's own criminal conduct. We haven't really also spoken much about Judge Colleen Cottley. She used to be the presiding judge of the Washington, D.C. federal court. She was appointed by Clinton in 1997. She was actually appointed to the Washington, D.C. courts by Ronald Reagan before that. And then when she went from the district court of the District of Columbia, that is, their trial courts, to the federal court, Clinton appointed her. But I want to read for you just portions of this order because it is so scathing and so well written as well. So the insurrectionist Danian McAndrew, this is what the judge explained. It was a 3-day bench trial in this criminal trial that concluded on January 12th, 2023. For her actions at the insurrection on January 6, 2021, the government charged defendant Danian McAndrew by information with entering and remaining in a restricted building, disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building, violent entry and disorderly conduct in a Capitol building, and parading, demonstrating, and picketing at a Capitol building in violation of these various federal laws. Now, you may be asking, why did this insurrectionist decide to do a bench trial in front of a jury rather than a jury trial? Well, she probably noticed the fact that all of these insurrectionists who have gone before juries in Washington, D.C. have not only lost, but have lost in like embarrassing fashion, where the juries have been out maybe for sometimes even less than an hour, but very short period of time before convicting all of these insurrectionists. And so here, one of the new strategies that we're seeing, or some of the strategies that some of the insurrectionists are taking, is, look, let's just do bench trials. Let's just try it in front of a federal judge, because juries, especially juries in Washington, D.C., who live the insurrection, absolutely hate us. So maybe a judge will rule differently. Not so here. And so this is what the federal judge said. Listen, the language that's used here, though, is so powerful. This is what the judge writes. This is on page 2. Clad in a MAGA hat, wearing a red scarf, and wielding a Trump flag, Danian McAndrew knew she was not permitted to be in or around the Capitol on January 6, 2021. That knowledge, like a snowball rolling down a ski slope, accumulated that day. Her suspicions undoubtedly started when, contrary to her testimony, she passed area closed signs affixed and to strewn fencing. If she did not know at the time her presence on Capitol grounds was unlawful, her awareness must have been stronger when she clambered over dismantled bike racks and snow fencing even closer to the Capitol building with their own area closed signs. If after seeing those signs she did not know her presence was unlawful after those signs, then surely she knew she was unlawfully present when she encountered a line of armored Metropolitan Police Department officers marching past Capitol police officers guarding the Capitol building behind bike racks affixed again with area closed signs. Assuming for the sake of argument that she still did not know she was not permitted on Capitol grounds or in the Capitol building, she must have known when she arrived to the Upper West Terrace and met 4 individuals she testified she knew to have been pepper sprayed, or to enter the realm of the fabulous. Perhaps it was only when she entered the Capitol building through a broken door, an emergency siren blaring. These signs and others detailed below undoubtedly endowed McAndrew with the knowledge that her presence and protest in the Capitol was unlawful. Nevertheless, she remained. What a powerful intro. And now let me read for you where she talks about Donald Trump. First, page 6, where it talks about McAndrew's participation in the riot. On the bottom of page 6, after McAndrew read then President Trump's announcement that he would hold a rally on January 6, 2021, that, quote, would be wild, she made plans to attend, excited to hear then President Trump speak and to protest against the 2020 presidential election. Goes on to say, the court need not rest solely on this axiom, however. Indeed, in advance of the rally, defendant tweeted at then President Trump that she too felt that traps had been set in the, quote, rigged election of 2020. And on January 6th, she even identified with her, quote, fellow patriots, in quotes, who had been pepper sprayed breaching the Capitol in support of former President Trump. Then it goes on to say, having followed then President Trump's instructions, which were in line with her stated desires, the court therefore finds that defendant intended her presence to be disruptive to congressional business. Let me read that one more time. Having followed then President Trump's instruction, which were in line with her stated desire, the court therefore finds that defendant intended her presence to be disruptive to congressional business. Let's skip down to the conclusion where it just states that this insurrectionist is convicted. Beyond a reasonable doubt, Danny Ann McAndrew knew on January 6, 2021, that her actions at the Capitol were unlawful. Every step of the way, from the western boundary of the Capitol grounds to the West Lawn, to the Upper West Terrace, to the interior of the Capitol itself, she saw sign after sign her presence was unlawful. Nevertheless, heeding the call of former President Trump, she continued onwards to, quote, stop the steal. For her participation in the insurrection on January 6th, the court finds Danny Ann McAndrew guilty on counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, dated January 17th, 2023, signed Federal Judge Colleen Collar-Cottley. Powerful, powerful order right there. And now I want you to think about Special Counsel Jack Smith. I want you to think about Special Counsel Jack Smith's case against Donald Trump, where one of the claims, or multiple of the claims, and the criminal charges to be filed against Donald Trump is going to be precisely what this federal judge said happened. Heeding the call of Donald Trump, responding to Donald Trump, following the instructions to engage in this conduct. Here we have a federal judge saying it, not necessarily using the words that Trump was the co-conspirator here, but that Trump would have been convicted by this federal judge had he been named as a co-conspirator in this bench trial. One thing's also for sure, these insurrectionists, whether they go in front of juries or federal judges, their conduct is being exposed, and the Department of Justice is doing an incredible job with an incredible conviction rate, making sure these insurrectionists are brought to justice. And as they keep racking up these convictions against insurrectionists, I know the one thing we're all waiting for, which is the indictment of the individual most responsible, Donald Trump. And I think it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of when it's going to take place, not if it's going to take place. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button. We are on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your awesome support. Please, it's free to subscribe, so hit the subscribe button now. In addition to subscribing here, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. We've got a lot of great exclusive content you can only get on our Patreon site, but most importantly, it helps grow this independent media platform. We'd be so grateful if you checked it out. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Thank you so much.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.